All right, can a man sleep with a woman without developing feelings? If you want the honest answer, then you need to watch this video. Now, if there was one question every woman should ask in her lifetime, it is this particular question. Ideally, she would, ask this question before she slept with any man. And regrettably, a lot of women never ask this question early enough. Instead, a lot of women end up having to learn the hard way because instead of asking this question and seeking intelligent answers, we as women, we take for granted the advice of well-meaning friends, families, and even average folks. And what most average folks say is something along the line of, oh, it's your body, so have sex with a man. If a man can do it, women can do it too. To hell with double standards. Now, I particularly don't agree with that typical advice. I think it gets a lot of women into unnecessary trouble, unnecessary heartbreaks, and all of that. So let me answer this question, right? Because when you have the answer, it will make a whole lot of difference in your love life. Can a man sleep with a woman without developing feelings? And the answer is, of course, yes, they can. So think of it like this. When you go to the toilet and you do your business, do you develop feelings for your toilet? Probably not. I mean, if you do, that's cool. But even if you do, I will take a wild guess and say that, you're one of the exceptions, all right? Now, men can definitely sleep with a woman without developing feelings. In fact, that's what they do every single freaking day. So consider it their default state. And of course, I know that it's not a very inspiring answer. But then again, I would advise you to just hold on a little bit because there is more to this. Now, you need to realize that men develop feelings for a woman, but these feelings are entirely separate from sex itself. Sex won't make him feel for you. In fact, the more you try to use sex to make him bond with you, the more you damage yourself, unless he's already in love with you, of course. I want you to think of it this way, right? Women, let's talk. If you were a man, yes, for real, you were a man, and you had a penis and testicles that produced 320 million sperms a day, what would you do? What would you want? You would want somewhere to put those sperm into something, right? So to assume that a man could bond with you and value you more through the act of sex is misguided. In fact, the more you offer your physical body in fear of losing him or due to wanting to make him fall in love with you, the more low value you would seem to all men. Now, why is this important? Because men and women perceive value very differently, and you don't want to be making mistakes that could cause quality men to dismiss or abandon you or, just ghost you. Now, I tell you that the reason why men can sleep with you without developing feelings has to do with sperm production. Specifically, the amount and the regularity in which sperm is produced. Now, each man produces so much sperm that if they don't actively release some sperm every 12 to 48 hours, it starts to get really uncomfortable for them. Of course, I am a woman and I am also speaking for men. I need to speak the truth, right? Now, if you doubt me, you could try asking any young man below, age 45 in your life how he feels after 4 days of not releasing his sperm. Some men need to release their sperm, and in order to accomplish that, they just need a place to release it. It could be anywhere, as long as it's a willing place to release, that is a woman or somewhere else more neutral. So if you as a woman, you offer that place without or before ever building up any real emotional connection or emotional attraction, then you just become another place he releases his sperm, and that's it. And of course, even if you've had chemistry, if you had chemistry and attraction, it just means that maybe the release was more exciting for him. Now, ladies, you need to remember this all the time. He's a man. He does not have a womb. He doesn't and will never go through that incredibly vulnerable stage of being pregnant and raising up a young child. So he doesn't come wired with the instinct to create emotional bond through sex. I mean, it won't even cross his mind until he really starts to care about you. So let's just say that he did start to care about you and he formed an attachment to you. In this case, even if he wanted to create an emotional bond with you through sex, often he will do it just for you, not for himself. And this means that love and sex are not connected in his mind. It takes a certain type of emotional connection and emotional attraction to a woman to make a man connect love and sex with you. Are you getting the point? So no, men don't catch feelings through sex with a woman or through hooking up with a woman. The only situation in which they can is when there is an emotional attraction and emotional connection. And these are the two most important ingredients in any passionate, committed, long-term relationship. It now behoves on us to ask this question: how many times can a man sleep with a woman without developing feelings? Infinity. Infinity. That means that by having sex with a man, even if you do it for years on end, you can never and will never make him feel emotionally attached to you, because in his mind, sex and love exist in different departments. And I needed to consider this as a huge revelation for us women who simply cannot understand how it's even humanly possible to sleep with someone repeatedly and never ever develop feelings for them as a man. And girls, this is why your feminine biology makes you value attachment by default. Men do not share your default state at all. Their default stage is to choose no string attached sex, meaning that you're far more likely than men are to at least want some money, attention, connection, and company from the man you sleep with. All right? You want his investment. You want something from him. Also, the more you sleep with him, the more attached you become. This is not because I am trying to limit you as a woman, but because you are biologically built to carry a child within you, within your body. This makes sex more risky for you, and it makes you more vulnerable than men would be should a pregnancy occur. So simply put, you need investment, you need attachment to increase the chances of your own survival and your child's survival. Whereas men do not need all of this at all. And listen, girls, there's nothing wrong with this. I believe that you should own your natural inclination, if anything, and learn to work with this feminine bias of ours. This is what I call feminine bias for early attachment. And this bias is actually necessary and useful if you want to make men fall in love with you. And so I am hoping that you've come to the realization that you can't just be sleeping with anyone just because you have some attachment issues going on, or just because you feel attached to a person. And the truth is, even if you've fallen into that pit of sleeping with someone who is not emotionally attached to you equally, you can get out of it. That's why you should learn how to switch up. If you've been on 100 with this person, you need to switch it down to 0. Learn how to detach, especially in a relationship that you're not getting equal energy or same energy that you're exuding or that you're giving to the next person or that you're giving to this man. If women can learn how to detach themselves, I think that regardless of the pain or the hurt you feel, you would be able to gain respect at the end of the day, because you know what? You've been able to walk out of a situation that doesn't favor you. However the case might be, you've been able to walk away with your pride at the end of the day. And that's why I keep saying this. Never ever give more than you are receiving. If the energy isn't the same, cut it short. Be smart enough to cut it short. Do not wait a second. Do not try to get closure, because see, what's the point of getting closure at the end of the day? You're leaving room open to be vulnerable. And you can't afford to be vulnerable all over again. So what you need to do is do not ask questions. It's sex. Do not ask questions. Move the hell on and open your heart to the pool of people out there that are willing to understand you, and be smart about it. Be smart about your relationships, okay? Learn how to detach from certain situations that don't favor you. So now that we've come to the understanding of how men view sex with women and how sometimes it doesn't really run deep except there is an emotional connection. We should be smarter when it comes to opening our legs. Okay? Yeah. So this is where we ended. Until I come your way again tomorrow, do stay safe and know that I got you. All right? I got you. Thank you so much for watching.